Hey, everybody. How are you doing this happy Thursday evening? Welcome to my live stream channel on my YouTube channel here. I am Tristan Emond with Mindful Living Realty, a realtor right here in Rapid City. And you know the rest of my spiel. So today we're going to talk about a couple things that have that have popped up already here in 2020. And I thought we should just nip that in the bud and talk about these things so we can get a better feel of them moving forward and give you a better idea of the reality of the situation and what's going on. So first, quick market update. Inventory is crazy stupid. It's crazy stupid low. I did a search, I think on Monday, there was 29 homes available in Rapid City, general. About 130 total on our entire Black Hills MLS site. But buyer demand is still high. So we're still looking at homes being gone off the market in days, multiple offers, over asking price offers continue as well. So when we're talking about, okay, I have a home that I have to sell before I can buy, we're going to talk about that home sale contingency and what that means. Okay. So when you are looking to sell your home in city or whether it be another state and then move into Rapid City, and you need the proceeds from that sale to buy this home, then that requires us to make an offer contingent upon your home selling in wherever you're at, right? So the problem with this is that if we've already got 10 offers on the table, a home sale contingency is going to be put at the bottom of the pile because it's just one more thing to worry about, one more thing on the line. Whereas, a seller is going to accept an offer from somebody that's, ready to move right in, right before they're going to accept an offer that has a contingency, et cetera. So I've had scenarios where a tried to even to beef up the price by 20 grand. But I had a deal earlier this year where we got our offer accepted because we didn't have the home sale contingency, even though we were 20 grand less. So home sale contingencies are really tough in this environment. Now, I did have a couple of home sale contingencies last year that worked out, and the way they worked out was, I think the first one was we had kind of a doldrums around July 4th weekend, and that kind of got at the end at the right time. The second one was on a little more of a fixer-upper. Certainly wasn't the best house in the world, but this guy was perfect for this guy, and he was willing to do the work, so it worked out good for him. And the third one, I'm really not sure why we got it, because it was a nice southeast side home. But the exterior wasn't beautiful. It wasn't one of those you drive by and go, oh my, look at that home, right? So it's hard to get the really, really nice high-end properties with the home sale contingency. So let's talk about, first of all, where that is and what we need to do with that. So first of all, make sure you talk with the lender first, because they're the ones that are going to be able to look at everything and decide, well, do you actually need to sell your home or not, right? So the question then is, well, okay, if you don't need to sell your home, then that just creates a whole nother ballgame. I had some clients that came here and were expecting to rent, to buy a home, rent the place so that they could get their home sold over there and then work the whole process. Went to talk to the lender. The lender said, hey, you can buy a home without selling your place. Now, of course, they had to sell their place later on, but it allowed them to buy a home, get in here, get settled, and then sell their place in Nebraska where it was at. So talk with the lender first. Make sure that you understand, you and them understand what's going on and what needs to be done. But the lender usually makes the final call on, yes, you need a home sale contingency, or no, you don't. I have had some people who were you could not have a home sale contingency, but you have to sell some stocks or something. So not everybody wants to do that. So make sure you go over all the options and determine what's best for you and your family. All right. So now, if it I do have some notes down here, so I'll look down every once in a while. Now, if it has to be home sale contingency, when we present an offer, what we'll do then is we present an offer saying, hey, here's the offer contingent upon your home selling. And then we've got three options that we can put within that contingency. We can either say, you know what, I want you to take it off the market. The entire time we're under this contingency. If my home sells, we'll move forward. Great. That's great. The other one is a first right of refusal, which says, hey, you keep marketing your property. If you get another offer, you let me know, and I'll have 24 or 40 hours to say, yes, I can buy it, or no, I can't. Or the seller just simply says, yes, I accept your offer. And if I get another offer, great. And you're just going to walk away. Typically, we end up with the second option of 24 to 40-hour first right of refusal. That's usually kind of the best, fair for both parties kind of option, and that's usually the way things go in that scenario. But we have to get it accepted first, and so a lot of times that home sale contingency, as I mentioned, it is pretty tough. Now, the other ideas that we can work around this area, as I've talked to some people, is obviously you can sell your home where you're at, and hopefully you can find a rental over here. Now, the problem is the rentals in Rapid City are almost worse than buying in Rapid City. There seems to be a few more properties that are all the properties are just seem to be rented out. There's a waiting list. It's very, very difficult to find a rental in Rapid City. Now, I've seen a few more kind of pop up through the past few months, and so maybe that's loosening up a little bit. But it's historic. The past few months, it's been very hard to rent a property in Rapid City. So the other option might be, okay, maybe you sell your home and rent a property where you're at. Maybe you can rent something over there, and then it's easier to buy something here and then transition that move here as well. The other option is a short-term rental, such as a long-term stay home type of thing, a long-term Airbnb, where you could sell your home and then kind of temporarily live out here. Now, as we get closer to summer, those get harder and harder to find. I've got a client right now that's looking to stay into a long-term hotel stay, and they say, yeah, those we're good for a bit. I know that like the Kenny Lake cabins, they rent out their cabins long-term until you get closer to summer, when then they're renting out nightly. So there are some more options that are available until we get to tourist season, and then those short-term options really start to clinch up, as they'd rather sell to the, they'd rather give out to the tourists that are going to spend $300 a night versus $1,500 a month. So that's definitely something to consider in all of this, is that you make sure that you look at all your different options and how we can do things. Now, obviously, we can put as many offers as you'd like to with that home sale contingency, but so far the ones that I've dealt with, when we've tried, it just hasn't worked out. So it doesn't happen very often. It could, but right now in this scenario, it's really, really tough. I want to make sure that you understand that when you're going into it and how that works for you and your situation. So I do want to say hi to U. She was saying hi. I know she's been watching a number of my videos, and I just want to make sure I reach out and say hi to her as well. All right, now, second point. Now, of course, if you have any questions, I can pop them up in the, just like I did there. If you post a comment below, any questions you have about home sale contingencies or anything else we talk about, maybe even later on, if you've got some other questions, we'll certainly answer those at the end of this as we go through. So don't be afraid to throw some comments in. Let me know what questions you have. Let me know what we need to find out. Now, so what's kind of funny about this is the one of the most better options for your home sale contingency is actually a new construction. Now, because they're building it anyway, and if you're going to get your home sold and before they get built, they're usually a little bit more versatile on allowing you to have a home sale contingency. But home construction right now sucks big time. I'm dealing with two right now that is just almost pull your hair out. So I want to make sure that you have an understanding of how that is working out right now. So the first new construction home I put together in 2021, they were in a situation where the builder was like, yep, we're going to get it done. They just got nailed with orders. Turns out, and of course, all the builders right now are putting in a clause which says we have the right to change the purchase agreement price if the building materials, et cetera, get to be over 3% or something. So they came back at this one back. It was late spring, early summer, some of that time last year, and said we're raising the price 10 grand. And my people were like, and by the way, we don't know when it's going to get done. It'll get done when it gets done. You're on the end of the cul-de-sac. We just started these 4 right here. It'll get done when it gets done. I actually looked at it a couple of months ago, and it still hadn't been done yet. So that's kind of where it was. My people said, no, we're out of it, and actually found a nice little West Side home that was updated that they jumped into. The other one we put under contract last March, and they were one of 8. And at first they said, yep, we'll be done by August. Well, August came and that went, and I was just asking, when are we going to get to it? Well, they kept giving me excuses about this or that. They finally got the foundation poured in November, and I just talked with them, and they just are starting to frame today. So here's end of January. We put it on a contract back in March, and it's been that long just to get some sticks being put up so you can see the outside. So and so builders are so far behind, and they're working with crews of electricians and sheetrockers and everybody else. They're behind. They don't have as much help. They can't work as fast. So we've got this kind of cascading effect that's been going on where it takes patience to wait for this and wait for that. And unfortunately, builders are very optimistic. They think, well, yeah, we were late here, but no worries, we'll catch it up over there. And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. I'm a realist. I'm looking at going, hey, you've got to have three. You've got to have 3 weeks for this sheetrock to be in and mudded and dried. How are you going to catch that up? That you just can't do that. And so that's what's been taking some time. And then with the cost of materials lately, I mean, the other deal that we're working on, so the third one I'm working on, it was actually ready to start framing in October when we put the offer on. They said, you know what, we'll get it done on December 20th. And I was kind of like, okay. And they had it framed right away, but the electricians sat on it for like 4 weeks or 5 weeks. And of course, every time I asked, hey, is it on schedule? Yep, we're on schedule. And here it is Thanksgiving, and there's no sheetrock in the house. All the walls are, you see right through them. And so finally, the electricians got done like the week after Thanksgiving. And so, of course, we're closing on the 20th. We still got sheetrock and finish and plumbing to be finished and all these other things. And so as it was, we just got it done. I think they've just finished the inside now, but the front driveway has yet to be poured. Well, it was 20 degrees beginning of the week. They might have a chance to do it at the end of this week, but then it's get cold again. So, they've got to get that window to get that driveway in there before we can close. And there's not a matter of here, we're going to do it now or later. It's a matter of it'll get done when it gets done. And this is, of course, very frustrating when you're trying to make plans and you're trying to figure out when it's going to be done. You've got a rate lock. You're trying to get it done before the rate lock expires and all these other things. So new construction right now just really sucks because you have no control over it. I've tried to, be a bug in the ear and just, hey, what about this? What about this? But there's just nothing. The builders just don't have enough care to keep it up with everybody because they've got so much going on. And of course, if you bump out of their property, someone else is going to buy it later on, and maybe they can bump up the price even more. And the other thing on this third deal is they bumped us up $19,000 more now than it was back in October. So I mean, that's a little bit of a chunk to chew, of course. So we're trying to figure out right now, okay, do we want to spend that extra money? And when's it going to be done? And, how all that's going to work out. So you need patience with new construction, and then you need more patience. And then you need to just kind of be able to sit back and let things be done when they're going to get done. I know. Try to make plans with that. It just doesn't work. My clients have been super patient and super available, super nice about it. But at some point, I'm kind of wondering when things go, I'm done. So that's the problem with new construction right now. I'm hoping that maybe things will kind of straighten out. There's a lot more new construction properties coming back on. Maybe we're getting into the hang of this, but everybody's putting in a clause that says, number one, we may not close based upon weather, materials, or labor shortages. And we might also raise the price based upon labor, material, and shortages. I mean, so there's nothing really in place with that. And it really creates a problem, like I mentioned, when you're trying to plan your life. So new construction is no fun. It's a great option if it works, but please understand, you got to have some patience. Darlene asks, yes, if you have cash makes everything a lot easier. If you get obviously, then if you have your home sale, if you don't have a home to sell, if you have a home to sell but you have to have cash, that's different though, because you're still even if you could take if you sell your home and you're going to take the cash from the sale and buy all with cash, it's still a home sale contingency because you still need the cash. You have to sell the house first. And there's numerous things that can happen. I had one deal, one seller where in the course of 2 weeks, they had a corporate office close the store. So the person's job was gone. And then the spouse killed themselves. In 2 weeks, this happened. So anything can happen at the end of a transaction. And so if you are, the home sale contingency, that's one more thing that might just happen. So yeah, cash and if you don't have anything else to sell, cash is a lot easier. Cash usually makes a difference in the negotiation. Now, it isn't everything. Some people still need time to get out, so a short close doesn't make a difference. And just because you have cash doesn't mean that you don't, that you're going to get a discount. You still have to present a really strong offer that someone is going to be willing to accept it. So it has to be the highest offer. People are going to accept a loan offer if it's 10 grand more, even if this 10 grand less one is cash. But that's just usually the way it's going to be. That doesn't always work out that way. Of course, every seller is going to be a little different on their thought forms and what's going on. But just because you've got cash with no contingencies and a short close doesn't necessarily mean that will be the one that they'll accept. And sometimes it's a matter of me having a conversation with the other agent, kind of saying, hey, where are things at? What do they need? What do they not need? But usually 9 times out of 10, cash is going to be a much better, stronger offer. It's just a matter of, does the seller agree or not? Okay. Any other questions from anybody out there? Any other questions that you have regarding, anything else? New construction or home sale contingencies? Try to make myself clear, but again, I get the feel for it. Cool. All right, so a couple videos I got coming up just to kind of give you a feel of where things are heading and some things to look forward to. During the Christmas time, I went and I talked with about 5 or 6 different clients that came here out of town from 2021. And I asked them questions like, well, what do you think about living in the Black Hills now? I didn't say anything about what I was going to ask them. And so I've got the real scoop from people that have moved here, what they actually think of it, but think about the Black Hills. So you don't just hear me saying stuff. You actually be able to hear what they're saying. It's taking me a little bit longer than I thought to edit the whole thing because that's a lot of video to put together. Surviving the winter in the Black Hills. I'll be doing that one here relatively quickly. Why you should not move to Rapid City. I'm going to talk with an insurance agent next week, so we'll get some great talk about insurance, especially with the hail going on, and what about cars and houses and prices, and we'll talk about all that. So an insurance one is coming up. 10 things you need to know before moving to Rapid City. Are people still moving to Rapid City in 2022? And then I'll do an updated cost of living, 2022 cost of living, because obviously things have changed a little bit since then. And then as it gets a little closer to spring, a little warmer, we'll do the downtown West Boulevard feature. I kind of give you a feel of what it looks like downtown. Yeah, so Shepherd's Meadow, I think that's the newer community. Right now, that's also where so there's an area. So there's a Menards hardware stores here. Rapid Valley is here, and there's a whole field right in here that's all going to get developed. And they're working on single family homes here. There's a big old apartment building up here. And then Shepherd's Meadow community is down there. And really, this is about the only 55 plus community that we have in Rapid City. That one actually is modular or manufactured type homes. And so they basically put a manufactured home up there, and it's newer, and they got some newer services. But really, that's about all it is. It's a bunch of different manufactured homes. Not even ground level. They're still up, and they're still up a few feet. So you've got a few steps to get up them. But I'm sure they've got a few other services as well. But they're still, manufactured homes. That's about all I really know about that community. I haven't looked into it too much, and hopefully they've got more stuff kind of coming to make it a little bit better. But that's the nuts and bolts of it anyway. Cool. Any other questions? Any more thoughts? All right, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great day. I appreciate you being in touch and being part of my YouTube family. And we'll keep keep rolling in 2022. And we'll see how things go. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful night.